Ron, if you had to take a guess at how many lights are in this display, what would be the guess?
Maybe 100,000.
So I'm here with Ron and Pam Spearing, and this is the couple behind the largest light display for Christmas on Marco Island. So I thought everybody would be really interested in getting the backstory, because the traffic around here and the crowds and the donations that go along with it to help St. Jude and help cure childhood cancer. It's one of the best incentives for them doing this entire thing. And so I wanted to get a little bit of the backstory. I thought it was really interesting that somebody on Marco Island did this. And I don't know if you can see this display from the International Space Station, but I'm betting it's probably close. Have you been accused of that before?
Yes.
Okay, this is Ron, this is Pam.
Yeah.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So I knocked on your door yesterday, and you saw this big guy, and then I said, hey, can I make a YouTube video? And so you politely agreed. I'm sure the display gets a lot of attention.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And last year, in fact, I'll give it to you. We had a nice write-up in the Coastal Breeze last year, and which I got a bunch of them. But yeah, it gets a lot of attention, and especially now that word's getting around. So
right,
you know that helps.
And so how many years have you been doing it here on Marco Island?
We've been in this house 5 years, so we've been doing, we used to do a very big up in Pennsylvania before we came here full time. So we've been doing it since we've been in this house, but we keep adding to it. So, because just about all the stuff out there I build. So during the year I'm building it, so consequently we're always adding to it.
But you've actually downsized your display.
Oh, considerably. What's out there? Yeah, we were on 10 acres in Pennsylvania, so things were really intense there.
Have you ever estimated how many people you get? I know you have a visitor's book out there. Mm-hmm. How many people actually stop to sign the visitor's book?
Here, there might be 100 signatures per night. But the thing is, you know, many times it'll say Smith family, Jones family.
Sure.
So maybe there's several people per signature, you know. So it's, and actually I keep track of that. I don't have it off the top of my head, but I have it written down somewhere.
Do you know how many states are represented in that visitor book, by chance?
They don't always put the states there,
okay.
But we get different countries too. So
just to let everybody know, there's a visitor's book, but then there's also a donation box, and all of the donations go towards St. Jude, correct?
St. Jude, correct.
And
yes.
How long have you been doing that?
We started doing that 2 years ago, and you know, it was the kind of thing where we saw the crowds were coming, and I thought, well, it's just a natural and it's a natural for it to be St. Jude, because it's kids, and kids are Christmas, and
sure.
You know, it's just a good match, and people have been very responsive and generous, and so you know, it's an added reason. I've never really needed a reason to go do this stuff. We've been doing it for over 40
yes.
years now, mm-hmm. But that's an added thing that I enjoy seeing when people are donating there. In fact, the display won't start until tomorrow, and people have already given me $700 in checks.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Pam, can you tell me who came up with this idea first? Was it a joint venture back in Pennsylvania? You said, hey, let's do a Christmas light display. Was it Ron?
Oh, gee. We are married 45 years, and yeah. And it has been contagious. I mean, he'll go to a store the day after Christmas. We kind of really go out and hit the places to see what new ideas we might have, or to come up with different things. But every year, Ron builds something that seems to be unique for the atmosphere and whatever. Like, we had the Frozen Castle last year, and this year he built the Disney Castle. So every year he tries to add a little bit, but we have no lawn, no space. Yeah. So, you know, we're kind of limited there, but we've been doing it forever, it seems. That's what we do.
So a couple of questions that I had that I think other people are going to find interesting. That is, where do you store it all? Because people have a hard time just storing a Christmas tree in Mark Island.
Yeah.
The garages tend to be small. There's not a lot of storage built in. And then you guys have this. Can you share that?
Yeah, sure. He has a storage unit. How many feet is that?
30 foot
Yeah.
up in Naples, and that's jam packed. Like we have two garages here, and there's some stuff in there, but I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep expanding. I don't know where I'm going to display it, and I don't know where I'm going to store it, but that's what I do during the year. So.
Well, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Let me tell you this. We had a 3-car garage up in Pennsylvania, and never since we've been married was I able to put my car in the garage. Even with the Pennsylvania snow, there was never a room to put a car in. It was always shoveling off the snow.
And that's the case here too.
And here too, yes. Even with the hurricane, we had no room to put the cars in the garage.
Fortunately, we don't have to shovel snow, right?
No.
Yeah.
I think this past week's about as cold as it's going to get. Just
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, sure.
So another question that I had, and I asked you yesterday when we talked about this, and that was, do you see a big jump in your electricity bill in December because of the light display? And you had mentioned because of a lot of the lights are LEDs now, or most of them
Yeah.
are all LEDs,
Yeah.
that was obviously a big help than from like it was in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's made a big difference. Like in Pennsylvania, we had a bigger electric service anyway, but we use it. Like I was thinking about it. There might have been up in Pennsylvania 60 floodlights on the display, and they were like 100 and 150 watts. So it was. Really eating, when you couldn't see the meter, the line on the meter when things were on. So the LEDs help quite a bit. And down here is smaller than what it was up north.
Oh, for sure. Up north, we had 10 acres. So Ron had an acre for parking and then a big walkthrough, which I used also as my horse track. During the off season, as I call it. Yeah.
Horses on your farm?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, one thing about Ron that I wanted to mention, he is so dedicated to Christmas. He doesn't golf, although he has golf clubs. He doesn't fish, although we have fishing rods. He works on Christmas 100% of the time,
That's a
all
hobby.
year.
It's a-
All
It
year.
It really is,
Right.
yeah.
That's nice. That's amazing. Maybe you can incorporate the golf clubs and the fish bowls. Into the Grinch is going
Yeah.
golfing on Christmas.
There you go.
Yeah.
Something like that. But speaking of the Grinch, have you run into any Grinches? Have you ever had any neighborhood complaints because of the traffic, anything like that?
Never.
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 Everyone has been so great. We're in the midst of a whole bunch of great neighbors. Everybody up and down the street are really great people, and it could be a nuisance for some people, but everybody's been really great about it. I mean, I hope they all take it with the, it's like for everyone's enjoyment and for the kids of all ages, and and now we're collecting for St. Jude, so I hope they take it with the intent that it's we mean by it,
And that was going to be my next question is,
Yeah.
what is your message to everybody who comes by and looks at the display? And I think you just kind of summed it up really well.
Yeah, well, that it's neat that many people have stopped by already, even with their kids. And when are you going to turn it on, and this and that, and the kids it's like a countdown and things like that, and that's great. I'm like a kid when she'll tell you when it comes to Christmas and other things, I guess.
Yes.
So So yeah, it's for everyone's benefit, and the people are really taking it with people in Marco are awesome anyway. So they're all. I haven't heard any negative thing about it.
No, nothing but positive.
No.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I just want to say we do accept checks or cash for the St. Jude's. A lot of people just want to write a check, and that's totally fine. Write it to St. Jude.
Okay, good. Make it out. Do you pay the order of St. Jude?
Yeah.
Yes.
And you have a box out there. Is it by the visitor log?
Yeah.
That's a donation box?
Yes.
It looks like a mailbox.
Yeah. And they can donate. It doesn't have to be when the display's on. They can drive by during the day and drop off a check.
And people do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. During the day, they'll put it in. And it's neat. Kids will throw letters to Santa in there and stuff.
Yeah,
so
or they'll color a page you know, out of a coloring book, and we'll send that to Santa. We always take care of any kind of children's requests. They're in there.
Yeah.
That's really nice. So logistically, the display starts on Thanksgiving, and Pam, I think you said about 6 o'clock in the evening?
Yes, around 6 o'clock, you know, to make sure the traffic is down. And then as the season progresses, as we get closer to Christmas, it lights up a little bit later. It'll go to what, 10, 11, somewhere in there. But you never,
Yeah.
if people are outside, he won't turn it off.
I won't turn
Yeah.
it off if someone's out there.
Yeah, that's nice.
So,
Yeah.
you know, so sometimes I'll spend 15 minutes at the window, you know, waiting for that last car to go, but I won't turn it off if somebody's out
Maybe you
there.
should wear a Grinch suit every night you go out to turn it off.
Yeah.
Flip the switch.
Yeah, exactly.
And how long does the display go to? When's the last day that you'll have
New
it on?
Year's Day.
New Year's Day.
Yeah.
Awesome. So there's one story about elves that I want you to share, if you would, Ron.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what we do is we've had 6 elves, but that might be expanding to 10. But I'll hide that, not hide them in plain sight throughout the display, and challenge people to see if you could find the 6 or the 10 elves in there. And the kids get, you know, I could watch through the window and there's one there, and there's one over there. You know,
I have to correct Ron. It's not kids. I have a lot of people from the women's club that enjoy that because we do move them around occasionally.
Okay.
So they come and say, "Oh, I only found 5 tonight, and where did you put number 6?"
So
So
there's going to be between 6 and 10. Was that fair to say?
Yeah, but if it increases to 10, on the sign I'll say whether there's 6 or 10, so they know that they've got them
How
all.
big are these elves?
They're about foot tall.
Okay.
yeah.
Well, thanks for this. I really appreciate you answering
great.
the door when I knocked, and I love to hear the story. I love stories about Marco Island, but I really love things like this when they happen, and then finding out the why behind them. And I think a lot of people have the same questions I do, and I appreciate you guys sharing all this.
our
we
pleasure.
love it. Yes.
So we're going to have a video when the lights are actually on. I'll do a follow-up video. We'll do that. And,
Great.
Maybe we'll take a walk outside now, and maybe we'll walk through the display during the daytime so people can see what all is put together in order to make this happen.
Okay.
Sure.
Great.
Okay, we're outside, and we're just going to take a quick look left to right. So what do we got here? Looks like a registration desk, Ron.
Yes, well, a lot of people will take their comments or suggestions, and they, you know, often, sometimes there'll be letters to Santa and things like that. Then, of course, here is the box where we take donations to St. Jude. Then over there, you know what we find, that snowman bench ends up in a lot of Christmas cards.
Oh, that's a great idea.
So, yeah, that's why it's out there, and we see people are waiting in line to get their picture taken on the bench.
Come get your Christmas card photos here.
Yeah.
That's great. So this is the Frozen Castle. This is the new one this year?
No, the Disney Castle is the new one.
Okay.
This was last year. And you know, Pam had mentioned that the day after Christmas we'll go out looking at 50% sales and things like that. So she goes in one direction, I go in the other. So she texted me pictures of Olaf the snowman and the reindeer, and she said, "Can you do anything with this?" So yeah, buy it. So then I found the sisters on eBay and built the blue castle.
That's awesome. Okay, there's obviously a large horse in your driveway.
Yes.
So you've got a horsing background back in Pennsylvania.
Yes, yeah, we had horses back
And I'm
then.
guessing that's somehow related.
Oh yeah.
Does the horse have a name?
You know what? I don't think we ever named it.
But that is a sleigh, and you have a company that built sleighs.
Yeah, we restore sleighs.
That's awesome.
So
A locomotive.
I built that about 35 years ago.
The locomotive.
Yeah.
Probably the largest gingerbread people I've seen. And maybe even toy soldiers. Ron, if you had to take a guess at how many lights are in this display, what would be the guess?
Maybe 100,000, because a lot of, you know, it's all these little twinkle lights now.
So the Disney Castle is the new piece this year.
Yeah.
And that's really, it's got two levels, two depths to it, doesn't it?
Well, there's supposed to be an imaginary moat behind the front wall.
Oh, nice. Who does the ladder work up on top of the roof?
I get up there.
Ooh.
Actually, I get a cherry picker every year, so.
I think I saw that in your driveway. I even see from palm tree to palm tree, we've got Santa in his sleigh. So Ron flips the switch on this thing, and you can imagine there's not just one switch, and that's tomorrow night on Thanksgiving, and it'll go all the way to New Year's Day. Is that right, Ron?
Yes.
Right. Well, good luck, and hope you don't have to change out too many bulbs. Obviously, that's a joke.
Yeah. Well, there's maintenance throughout the month, but it's usually not. It usually holds up pretty well.
Yeah.
So.
As always, if you found this video interesting or informative, please do me a favor, hit the like button, and I'll see you soon.